Poor
Lastly,
brother.
we are going to touch on Adrian Griffin, who was fired by the Milwaukee Bucks as the
Okay.
head coach. This literally just came down the wire right before we went on stream, so we decided that we'd talk about it real quick. At the beginning of the year, there was a lot of excitement around him getting hired. Um, for social reasons and for basketball reasons, people felt like because of the years of work that he put in as an assistant that he would be a good fit. Plus, he was on the younger side and he was black. And so all of those things were kind of working in his favor. People were really enthusiastic about the prospect of him coaching this team and how far they can go. Then the Bucks traded for Lillard, and it was like sky's the limit, man. Oh boy, these dudes is destined to get to the finals, right?
Yeah.
And then the season started, and in a lot of people's eyes, the team largely underachieved. And then he was fired. As of January 23rd, they fired him. And it was
Okay.
breaking news, and it was a bit of a shocker, but yeah, they fired him. So, to give you a brief background here, it says why Bucks fired Adrian Griffin and why Doc Rivers could be their next coach. The Milwaukee Bucks' choice to fire first-year head coach Adrian Griffin on Tuesday was hardly an overnight decision. It was born out of months of underwhelming play with internal concerns growing about the severe decline of their once elite defense, the flawed use of newcomer Damian Lillard alongside franchise centerpiece Giannis Antetokounmpo, and a widespread fear that this group, which was widely expected to contend for a title, was likely to fall short if Milwaukee stood pat. As far back as the in-season tournament in December, when the Bucks lost to the Indiana Pacers in Las Vegas, and the internal skepticism grew regarding Griffin's ability to lead, there were strong signs that a change was coming. League sources say Doc Rivers, who was an ESPN analyst after getting fired by the Philadelphia 76ers last May, began to serve as an informal consultant to Griffin at the behest of the Bucks. 1 month later, multiple sources briefed on the matter now indicate that Rivers is the serious leader for the now vacant position and the preferred choice of key stakeholders.
What?
The Bucks have started discussions with Rivers to become the new head coach of the franchise, league sources said. Warriors assistant coach Kenny Atkinson, who was a runner-up to Griffin in the Bucks' head coaching search last year, is a candidate for the job as well if the team is unable to secure a deal with Rivers. The trouble came early this season for Griffin, the 49-year-old who spent the last 15 seasons as an NBA assistant for 5 teams following a nine-year NBA career. His inauspicious start first drew the national spotlight when first-year assistant coach Terry Stotts stepped down on October 19, 2023, one day before the team's preseason finale. So it goes on to say while the Bucks had compiled a 15-6 record before their trip to Las Vegas, leadership organized a meeting between Griffin and Rivers, who was broadcasting in-season tournament games for ESPN. This sounds like collusion.
Hey, boy, I
Uh,
swear.
Per league sources, the organization believed Rivers, a 24-year NBA head coach and champion with the Celtics in 2008, there goes that championship again, could offer Griffin advice and guidance on how to navigate his first NBA season with high expectations and a championship caliber team. All season long, the Bucks have struggled on defense after being one of the league's top defensive teams for 5 straight seasons under former coach Mike Budenholzer. As of Tuesday morning, the Bucks ranked 22nd in defensive rating, allowing 116.8 points per 100 possessions. But the frustrations regarding the team's defense had reached a boiling point following a 122 to 116 loss to the Houston Rockets on January 6th.
Wow.
So, yeah, so apparently Doc Rivers is in line to replace Adrian Griffin. What do you make of this situation?
There's a lot going on here. I didn't know all that was going on. That's can Doc do that? What the hell is that? You're consulting a guy that gets fired, and they're considering you like, what is that? Man, that's garbage. So it's a number of things going on here. So the Bucks just got into 2 dog fights with the Pistons, back-to-back games.
That's not good. Yeah, that's
Yeah, they
terrible.
got into 2 dog fights. I thought it was both going to be the spread was up there, and I thought it was going to be blowout. So I didn't play nobody from either side. Whoop de whoop. Um, the Pistons gave him a run for their money for that first game. So I was like, all right, surely the Bucks are going to eradicate them this game to teach them a lesson about last game. Nope, same story. So I think it was that two dog fights with the Pistons. Now it's not even arguably they're the worst team in the NBA right now.
No,
So
yeah, it's not even discussion. They lost like 28 straight games. They're
yeah, it's not even
atrocious.
the Wizards are
Yeah,
very close, but they didn't lose 29 games or whatever the hell they did. So this is an active, and with no Kate Cunningham, this is an actively bad team. And so for you to have Dame Lillard, I mean, you don't need me to go down the list. I mean, they have a championship roster. So for them to struggle against the Pistons in back-to-back games was probably his undoing. Uh Now the stuff that's going on right here with Doc Rivers, man, like you said, bro, like I didn't know all that was going on. To me, it feels a little collusiony. Um and like is this like somewhat unprecedented for them to like fire coach mid-season with this kind of record to just go hire another person, not even interim promote from within. They're just going out there like it's fucking free agency. Excuse my
you
French,
really,
but
yeah,
what the hell's going
you
on here?
really, yeah, you really see stuff. You really only see something like that when they have been talking to who they want the replacement to be for a while. That's
Boy, that's
really the only time you see that. Yeah.
crazy. I don't remember seeing this before. But be that as it may, I think that oh man, this is crazy. I feel bad for bro. I mean, but apparently he bit off more than he could chew. I'll let you go after this. I seen a little clip of Avery Johnson. You remember Avery Johnson from the Spurs?
Oh, yeah,
So he
sure.
said that he got fired after I think like mid-season during a successful season or whatever. But he was basically getting at that this was a player's firing. And he felt as though that yeah, you're winning, you're doing your thing, but the players they're not jiving with you. And it was pretty
Yeah,
much a mutiny thing.
yeah.
And I saw a clip of Giannis drawn on a napkin. They said he was drawing plays. Now, was he doing that? Who knows? But it might have been a thing where yeah, um this was this might have been one of those hires that just went wrong.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on Griffin, man, getting the boot mid-season? Hell, almost 30 games over 500 if that. So what's going on?
Yeah, so I watch a lot of games, and I've been watching the Bucks games, the nationally televised ones at least, all season, and I lost count of the amount of times I watched their games and was like, why are they struggling? They shouldn't be struggling. It just
Same.
didn't seem to make sense. Like, why are y'all not blowing these people out? Like,
It's one
you're not gonna blow every game out. But they were in dog fights in situations when it seemed like they shouldn't be in dog fights.
agreed.
Playing against, as you mentioned, the Cade Cunningham wasn't even playing with the Pistons. They're playing against teams whose best players are out, and they're still barely scraping by. I think it was a game against the Pacers, or it may have been the Rockets game where
Yeah, that was
Damian Lillard had
bad.
to hit a prayer. Damian Lillard hit a prayer last second buzzer beating three to win the game.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, and so it's like, why are you guys struggling like this? So I think Buddy bit off too much that he can chew, as you said. I don't think he was ready. He
Yeah,
just isn't ready to coach a championship roster yet.
yeah,
Simple as
yeah,
that. You know, it is what it is. Like, I'm not. That doesn't mean that he's incompetent. It just means that he wasn't ready to coach this kind of roster yet. It's just not. It's not his steam. He needs to get his feet wet, coaching teams like the Hornets and the Wizards and the Pistons.
the
You like you got to
perpetual
get your
losers.
feet. Yeah, you got to get your feet wet coaching those teams first before you start, coaching teams that have championship aspirations, because the
Yeah,
roster has no business. Now, granted, they're 30-13. I just looked at their record, but it's weird.
30
It's a
they
hard
go 20
30 and
games.
13. It's
It
it's
is.
it's like when the Eagles were 10-1 this
Mhm.
year, and I'm watching their games and they're barely winning, looking bad,
Yeah,
and they're just barely scraping by. They're 10-1, so credit for being 10-1, but they look bad in the process, being 10-1. And you just knew at some point the wheels were gonna fall off. And they
mhm.
did. They got whooped in the playoffs, looking like they quit. So it never looked good all year. And on top of that, if the players aren't jiving with what you're selling, I hear what Avery's saying. It probably was a locker room firing because
Yeah.
on paper you would say he deserves the grace to be able to coach the rest of the season. They're 30-13. They're first in the division, and at worst, even if they underachieve all year, at worst they'll finish third in the East. At worst, because it's basically them and
Mhm.
the Celtics and the Sixers are going to be the top three. So at worst they'll finish third. But it's like you look at them play, and inevitably they have second round exit written all over them.
I swear.
You know, so he had to go. He had to go. So the firing to me was justified. Who they're replacing him with is not. Um, don't get
Boy.
look.
Hey, boy. Hey, that's what I'm saying, bro. Y'all just gonna go from one fire to the next. What
Boy,
are we doing?
I'm trying to tell you, man, Doc Rivers is riding. I have never seen one coach ride on the coattails of one championship as much as Doc Rivers. Look, man, this is gonna sound like I'm hating on Doc Rivers.
You hating?
Like, okay, you know what? You know what? Let's look at this real quick. I don't want to go long, but like, you know, uh, you know,
Yeah, that is
let's just look at a Clippers roster
yeah, go
with
for it.
Doc Rivers. Okay, 2016, 2017 season. They finished that season 51-31. So that's a good record. They finished fourth overall in the West, so they were a top four seed. And the roster: Allen Anderson, Brandon Bass, Jamal Crawford, Raymond Felton, Blake Griffin, Bryce Johnson, Wesley Johnson, DeAndre Jordan, uh, Imba Amute, Chris Paul, Paul Pierce, JJ Redick, Austin Rivers, Maurice Spates, and somebody named Diamond Stone. I don't know who that is. So a lot of good players on the roster. The starting five was pretty good. It was prime Chris Paul, prime Blake Griffin, still pretty good Jamal Crawford, JJ Redick, who never missed when he was open,
Prime
DeAndre
DeAndre
Jordan,
Jordan. Yeah.
DeAndre Jordan, who caught everything at the rim.
Yep.
Wesley Johnson, who also never missed when he was open. Like, I like Doc Rivers. He underachieved as a head coach of the Clippers. That's why they fired him. How many years of this stuff? All of these rosters, conference semifinals, lost. First round, lost. I think they got to the conference finals once. I think. Somebody fact check me on that. Lost. Then he goes to Philly. He's got, I'm not even going to type up that roster, but he's got at first Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, what's the name of the boy? The boy who shoots. He's 3-and-D
Tobias?
guy. Huh?
Tobias?
Tobias Harris. Yeah, him. So they got all of these dudes.
Jimmy Butler.
I'm drawing
You
a
talking
blank
about
on
that
all
one?
of these players.
Jimmy Butler was on that team?
No, Jimmy Butler came after. They didn't. Jimmy Butler was gone by the time Doc got there because the Sixers didn't want to give Jimmy Butler a contract.
Oh,
They
okay.
They prioritized giving Tobias Harris a contract, which is why Jimmy Butler left.
Gotcha.
And then the draft pick, the dude who played at Kentucky, who's really good right now, just killing it.
God damn. What's that boy name?
I know we get on these videos and we forget names. Um,
Now I keep thinking of Emmanuel quickly. That's the other young fast dude, but this dude fast, and I forgot his name already.
I mean, he's fast and he can dribble, pass, and shoot.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey.
My bad, y'all. Yeah, Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah. So like you've got all of these dudes on your rosters, conference semifinals lost, first round lost. Like, stop it with the Doc Rivers. Look, man. Okay, Bucks, go ahead and hire him. As a matter of fact, I'm tripping because I'm a Heat fan. So yes, Bucks, please hire Doc Rivers. I think that's a great idea. Hire Doc Rivers, please do, because what's going to happen is we going to end up in the conference finals. We're going to end up in the conference finals.
Play around. Yeah, they're going to have a 3-1 lead and blow it.
That's right. That is right. If y'all hire Doc Rivers, the Miami Heat will end up in the conference finals, even if we got to go through the Bucks, because they'll be up 3-1 and we'll still beat them
They
with
gonna blow it.
with home court disadvantage. That's Doc Rivers' track record. Like, enough of this. Go in a different direction. So I do think that the firing was justified. I don't think that Doc Rivers is a good replacement, and I don't like the Bucks' chances if that's the direction that they go in.
Yeah, mid-season firing again. I mean, I know firing a coach mid-season is a thing. I mean, who cares, right? But to actively seek, you know, a big name on a market who has no chemistry, no understanding of the organizational flow. Not like this isn't like plugging in a shooting guard. This is the head coach. And so who's going to be up under him? The chemistry with that, the understanding, but like I mean, Godspeed. But this was a bad play from the jump from hiring this dude when you just knew he wasn't a guy. But this was probably a team hire. This was probably like a Darvin Ham situation where they just like, nah, we want Griff. We want Griff. And now Griff got the job, and he's clearly still an assistant, which is nothing wrong with that, but this whole thing just feels wrong. So yeah, man, I wasn't a Doc Rivers hater either. I always believed. I don't know if I was just buying the media propaganda or what, but I just thought that he was a solid coach. But I keep getting caught up in his regular season records. But his postseason stuff, it's already, the book is written. And last year, I mean, it was just too much.
Yeah.
I just said no more. I can't deal with this no more. So when he got fired, I was like, who's gonna pick him up? I heard his name already floating around for the Suns and some other shit, and I'm like, I don't know who wants to deal with that level of disappointment every year.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah, man, I feel sorry, Dame. I want Dame to get one. If it's at our expense, it's whatever, because it was going to happen anyway, kind of thing. But now we got a shot. we clearly had a shot when Griffin there.
If they hire Doc Rivers, we definitely. I like our championship prospects a whole lot better if they hire him, or at least our prospects of getting out of the East, because
we just got a bump.
Yes, exactly. I just don't see it. I think Doc Rivers is good, but he is riding high off of that championship that he won in 2008. What else is it? Everything else is losing earlier than you're supposed to.
And I had seen this thing where a clip of Rasheed Wallace, he was talking. This was not too long ago. He said, you see how the commentators, when they sitting there during the game, because he was just talking about how bad commentating is now in the NBA. And he said they bring in these ex-coaches, and these ex-coaches use these as opportunities to show their acumen whenever they're calling games. And you see that backdoor screen right there. Now, see, if you leverage that's if you leverage, and then so what he was doing was he was auditioning, letting people know that he knows the game and blah blah blah. And I was like, really, Rasheed? I really haven't seen people jump from the booth to go coach again. I get they would do that, but I've never seen it until now. Yeah. So Doc was probably the guy he was talking about or referring to, that he still won't work, and he letting people know that he still won't work. And hey, man, I'd rather him coaching than hear him call games.
He's not very. I don't think he's that good at calling games either. No. You know what needs to happen? Detroit needs to fire. This will never happen because he has a huge contract. But the Pistons need to fire Monty Williams. And then the Bucks can just hire Monty Williams, and then they'll be the best versions of themselves, because he is someone who is like, give him a great roster and see what happens. I truly believe that. Like, that's the kind of person who needs to be coaching the Bucks, not somebody like Doc Rivers or, the rest of these. Get out of here with that.
What's that boy name from New York that keep running everybody into the ground?
Thibodeau, Tom Thibodeau.
These guys got records. Like, y'all see it.
Yeah.
Their philosophy don't work. Period. Watch the same thing with the Knicks. They got OG Anunoby. That was a good pickup. That was a good trade for them. That whole thing made sense for them. But you're dealing with Tibbs still.
Yeah.
And he gonna tib it.
What's the ceiling? Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah, man. Y'all gotta find y'all the diamond in the rough. Y'all gotta find the film room guy. Find somebody, because these coaches out here right now, the stock that's out there, they've proven that they can fumble a bag better than they can win one. So whatever, man. Good luck.
Yeah, for real. But
Shout out
like
to
I
Daniel,
said,
man.
but like I said, if they want to go that route, I'm all for it because that just gives the Heat a much better chance.
It's heat
Um,
time, baby. It's heat time.
but yeah, it's just that's ridiculous. But yeah, that'll do it for tonight's stream. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Another video in the books. My name is
You're
JB Wins. That, of course, as always, is Dogon SS. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let us know what you think about the commentary in this or any other video. We certainly appreciate it. Check out Conscious Approach on Instagram at Con Approach. CONAPPROACH. You can find me on IG as well at JVWins. JVWINS. Like and follow the Facebook page as well. We also post videos there. Share this video wherever you see fit. If you find the content to be illuminating, we certainly appreciate that. Go Bucks. I hope y'all fire Doc Rivers so that you can get my Miami Heat right back into the finals again. I'm going to love every second of that. But until that fateful day happens, ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you on the flip side.
Yes, sir. And the name is Dogon SS. You can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS and on YouTube at Dogon SS. Also on TikTok. All right. Now I don't post no videos, but my comments be going crazy. All right. Follow me over there too. Dogon_SS. And as I say on every pod, guys, don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it calm, keep it chill, keep it player. And don't let anybody get you off your pivot. All right. So until the next time, guys, we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Yes, sir. We'll catch y'all later. Another video in the books. We certainly appreciate your support. You're far and far too kind. Until the next time, we are out. Peace.
Peace.
Go Bucks. Go Doc.
Go Doc. Go.
Sign that boy.
That is great, man. The collusion. I would love to hear the background.